Hey, fucking, what's up, everybody? Hello. You know, I did a video earlier today. I didn't post it. And I'm glad I didn't because I don't like to get on here and be like an attention hog or whatever. But if I got something to say at the same time, you know I got something to say. And so, anyways, earlier this day, I did a video basically on Bill Gates and Bezos sitting there thinking that they could force us into regulations that make a lot of us eat plant-based meat, stuff like that. Well, Bill Gates is buying up all the farmland. They got all their surveillance data centers all over the country. But they're not really data centers. They're not for AI. They're for surveilling you and they're for surveilling me. Do you guys remember the first fucking time? You know, I'm just going to talk like I do sometimes. You remember the first time you guys heard that shit about Chinese social credit scores? Them with facial recognition technology, watching an Oriental guy go into a store in China, pick out a bottle of water, and some Zuzus or Wham Whams rock right over to the door and walk out, and the thing just automatically bills his bank account because it's got you clocked the same way it's got you clocked as soon as you walk into your local grocery store. They're sticking all that shit right into an SQL database so they can clock you, and they need these surveillance centers. They're not data centers, they're surveillance centers to clock you so they can sit there and take away more of your liberty. You know, I love to get on Tommy G. I emailed him the other day. My phone's right over there. I could check it, but I know he hasn't emailed me back. You know, I get on the typical motherfuckers that I get on all the time. Sorry, I don't want to sound too uneducated, but, you know, it's what it is. Kind of like the Joker chasing his tail, the dog chasing cars, wheels on cars. You know, you got these guys in a free country talking about what they're going to make you eat. Do you know why the billionaires are all building bunkers? Do you want to know why? Because they're doing a bunch of shit that a lot of people would probably want to kill them over. So they need bunkers. You know, I was watching a politician one time. I'm not going to say where, but he was telling everybody, Señoras y señoras, ladies and gentlemen, yo les voy a cuidar. I'm going to take care of you. And then as soon as we're in the convoy out of town, he sees this like 18-year-old chick and he pulls over and he tells, hey, go get that chick. And the chick's brought over to his Suburban, and he's trying to worm his way into this chick's. You get the idea. And I always found it ironic that he just got done telling that girl's parents that he's going to take care of them. And then just a few minutes later, he's trying to worm his way into it. You know, people can talk a lot of shit about me. And they do. And I don't care. You know what? I invite you to do so. Talk good about me. Talk bad about me. Just talk about me. I don't care. I don't mind. I'm not going to get upset. I spend my time talking about things that should affect us all, and I try to do it, or that do affect us all, and I try to do it from a good place in my heart because my heart's in the right place. I quit a $100,000 a year job to go make $600 a month hunting drug cartels because they were giving drugs to our kids. Unlike the fucking CIA and the DEA, per several of both, sitting there talking about allowing cocaine to come into our communities, fucking up your life, your kids' lives, your husband's lives, and everybody else's lives, destroying families, talking about how that's national interest or national security. Sorry, I beg to differ. The family court system bringing in more revenue for the American government than all the other court systems here in the United States combined. Real shit. The children of single mothers putting the bill on that with their futures. I'm one, so are a lot of others. Show me a comprehensive study that they've actually done on that what becomes of the single children, the single mothers, and the welfare state that they've built. These billionaire bunkers. Ivanka Trump and her vocal fry, Jared Kushner, who's sitting right there, got Trump's full, undivided attention. Sean Strickland, I've offered to box Sean Strickland to get, I posted the fucking Instagram thing. I've offered to box him, he would mop the floor with me, I'm sure, but I would still go in there because I've trained martial arts professionally. I'm okay with it. I'll take my shots to bring a little bit of attention to things that I find noteworthy. Sean Strickland being kicked out of the UFC because people attached to the people that Ivanka Trump is married to don't like what Sean Strickland has to say. Let's get something fucking straight. We can criticize. I'm American. I was fucking born here, okay? I didn't come here. My family's been here for fucking centuries. They hung my great-great-great-great-grandmother for being a Quaker in the colony of Massachusetts, not the state. So we're talking pre-1776. In fact, she was here pre-1700s. They threatened her with death. They kicked her out. She went back. They kicked her out. And then when she went back again, they fucking hung her. Real shit. Mary Dyer. In the United States, we are free to criticize America, but they want you to think that you're not free to criticize Israel. I'll tell you what about Israel. Fuck Israel. I'm going to tell you why. Not because they're a bunch of yarmulke-wearing motherfuckers. And if you're free to criticize the United States and Christianity, you're free to criticize Israel and Judaism, especially in a free country. And if they want to call you a domestic terrorist or whatever, start with me. Call me that first, because fuck you. I will die a free man. Meaning not threatening anyone with violence at all. Meaning I will never allow someone to shut me up or tell me what I can or can't fucking say in my own body, in my own natural habitat, in the place that my God put me. Who the fuck are you? Everybody should be thinking about that. Israel criticizing Israel? I wouldn't normally do it. And I wouldn't normally criticize Jews. And I don't like criticizing Jews, because if you criticize Jews, you are limiting yourself as to what you are allowed to do or think or believe about the universe, which is something I am inherently just completely against. I will not ever tell you what you can think or believe or anything, any more than I would have someone thrust those things on me. But that's kind of what the billionaire bunker guy crowd is doing, telling us what we can and can't eat, even though we're in our own natural habitat. The CEO of Campbell's, or the vice president of Campbell's, talking about how poor people are buying Campbell's condensed soup and they're printing fucking chicken to stick in there, and poor people buy that shit, and he wouldn't buy it because they're all shopping at Whole Foods or whatever. The billionaires have an inflated sense of self-worth. And you can hear it in people like Ivanka Trump's voice when she's talking with her vocal fry, talking about we discovered and how it's their job to convert this island with their fucking multi-billion-dollar fucking kiddie porno fucking place. They earned collectively $87 million. And what? Nobody collectively is worth that much, earning $87 million. Earn something? The person that prepared the fucking food on your plate. The person that grew it. The person that repaired your fucking toilet. Real estate developers and people that direct finance do not earn a fucking thing. They're parasites, the epitome of parasites. They're sitting there telling us that you can't grow plants on your own land. And if you do grow plants on your own land, per Tommy G's video, that they're going to suck all the water out of it so they can surveil you and sell it to Israel, who is now wanting to be thrown in with our own fucking government's military, if you even agree that this is your own government. that are all bought and sold just like the Prime Minister of Albania is bought and sold, which is how Ivanka Trump and Kushner got their sweetheart deal on that island that happens to have a whole bunch of military tunnels on it. You know, they do have people like Peter Thiel that will have all these American government contracts. CEO of Palantir and his other CEO of Palantir, Alex Karp, who both met each other at Stanford. Stanford educated, coming from big money. And they're going to sit there and they're going to have these fleets of autonomous drones that are sentient, that don't have a human being in the command chain when it comes to surveilling or killing any one of us, myself included. They want all that over us. And then he's going to run over to fucking Argentina while Alex Karp is putting out his manifesto how the rest of us all fucking live. You know, they all need a reminder in fucking freedom and what freedom is and what this country is. But here's the real problem. You know, the billionaires aren't even the fucking problem. You know who the problem are? The people that guard them. That's the fucking problem. Because unlike them making $100,000 and quitting that to go make $600 a month to go do the right fucking thing, which is to prevent kids from having drugs, they're sitting there buying their second and third house with their huge pensions and their Beechcraft and Mastercraft boats and shit like that, completely bought and paid for, and don't give a fuck as long as they're given a few more privileges. And you see it all over Facebook all the time. People happy that people got caught, even though they are presumed innocent or supposed to be, and even though they're supposed to have the right, the constitutional right, I might add, to confront their accuser in court. But you have people all over Facebook celebrating anytime someone gets unalived or anything like that, never bearing in mind the fact that if that was them or one of their loved ones, they would want the same rights afforded to them. They're guaranteed in the Constitution. And let's not forget the fact that the Constitution that's in this country was voted in illegally as per the Articles of Confederation that were in place before it, enabled an executive government that's running roughshod over everything. And people love to talk about the Supremacy Clause, but don't even like to bear in mind that there was no unanimous vote to vote in this Constitution, which, ironically, restricts your rights while claiming to protect them. All doing so with something that you've never consented over. It takes more consent to purchase a vehicle than it does to cede away your rights. Here we go. Every time I do this, there's another fucking siren, going somewhere. There ought to be a siren for all the kids on Epstein's Island with everyone over at the Department of Justice and everyone over at the FBI refusing to prosecute these fucking pedophiles. And 3/4 of the Senate, if not more, and the House are all bought and paid for by foreign agents. It's the only Israel, let's say it correctly. Israel, just to make sure you fucking people know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the only country in the entire world that doesn't have to register as a foreign agent here, and they hide behind religion, right? It's what they do, I wasn't ever going to say anything about Israel until they started killing all the babies in Gaza, because I'm not on board with that. And I know a lot of Christians get hung up on, you have to support you have to support Israel. There's a big difference between Israel in the Bible, in the New Testament, what that is, the people that believe in Jesus Christ, and the geographical territory that they came up with and awarded themselves in 1948. Huge difference. CIA coming into being shortly thereafter. Mossad, same shit. All the different things that go down this country with all the things, they don't want they want all these non-disclosure agreements on all these surveillance centers. They got things that they're keeping secret about their Ivanka Trump and Kushner sweetheart Albanian island deal. My wife, she asked me all the time, "Hey, Dave, did you do this?" Yeah, I did that. We were just talking about the other day. A trailer park was involved. Not one of my proudest times. Not one of my proudest moments, but I told her. Because that way, I don't have to sit there and make up a whole bunch of lies to cover up what I used to do. I haven't always been the best person. I haven't done everything perfectly, but what I did, I did. These people always want to sit there and cover up what they do on all of their dealings, non-disclosure agreements to build their bunkers. You know, I spend a lot of time thinking about Israel because the Bible does talk about Israel. And it says that whoever curses Israel is going to curse themselves in a roundabout way. But I was thinking about that, and then I think about the truth of the Bible, the truth about our salvation, the fact that I've got Jehovah's Witnesses coming over here again for the third time, not because I'm going to convert, but because we're going to debate whether Jesus went into Jerusalem on one animal or two, because everything in the Bible, if it is something as monumentally important as your everlasting salvation, should be bulletproof. And you know what? They brought up this last weekend that maybe it was human error that caused this. And I thought to myself, well, you know, an all-powerful God ought to have the ability to perfect a message, and he's not capable of lying. So was it one animal or two? Did Jesus meet him right there in Gethsemane, or did he where he was entombed, or did he meet him up in Galilee like he said he was going to? There's so many different contradictions in the Bible that was written by a bunch of people that now populate the geographic area of Israel, that, you know, I'm not going to automatically take everything at face value in the Bible. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to think in my heart, I'm going to think, hey fucking Dave, would you murder a whole bunch of fucking school children because some other country told you to fucking do it because of something that they themselves are guilty of, which is having nuclear weapons? No, I wouldn't do that. Fuck no. Would you murder a whole bunch of babies in their cribs at night with their fucking parents just because they have this idea of self-determination and self-governance, which Hamas originally was, over the same land that these same group of people are fucking occupying, spitting on Christians and all kinds of shit? No, I wouldn't fucking do that. And when I thought about that, and I thought, you know, would you be willing to burn in hell because you refuse to kill kids? Yeah, you know what? I would. Sign me up. I'll fucking do it. You want to go burn me forever because I wouldn't murder a little fucking kid of any color? Sign me up. I will accept that. And when I started thinking about things in those terms, let me make sure this thing's still recording. It is. When I started thinking about things in those terms, what I would be prepared to go and present in front of my God on Judgment Day, because I will be judged by my God without a doubt. I believe that, heart and soul. I would tell my God, you know what, God? Yeah, I wasn't going to take more money to give a whole bunch of kids drugs. I will take less money, live with less, fucking starve sometimes and not have very much to eat just to make sure another fucking kid doesn't get drugs. I'll sign up. And I did that. And I'm not always the greatest guy, but I mean, it's a no-brainer. You don't need a Bible in your heart to tell you what is the right thing to do. Whether you're white, black, Oriental, Asian, whatever, however the fuck you want to say it in your woke world, you don't need a Bible or the gospel according to Buddha or a Quran or any of that stuff to tell you what to do in your heart that's right, because you already fucking know. You learn that, you know that when it's like, hey, Mormons call it the age of accountability. You know that toy's not yours. They got this thing ownership, man. This fucking earth isn't owned by any of us. It's owned by all of us collectively. And when they're soaking up all the water, like Nestle wanted to do, and you don't have water, or if they could extract all the oxygen out of the air, but they allow it with land and people don't even have any place to live, and all of your entire fucking check goes to rent and a couple bills, and these fucking billionaires are in charge of all of it. You You have to be careful about how you wish other people to be treated, because sooner or later that will be levied against you. And even though there is a lot of righteous ire and wrath to be directed towards the billionaires, you need to temper that with mercy too, because if not, sooner or later that will be wielded against any one of us. That being said, it does leave a lot to be seen in terms of how much wealth people should be allowed to accumulate and how much power these people should be allowed to have. And not only that, but whether these so-called governors and government in general should be allowed to meet in Davos or however the fuck you pronounce it, alone with no media, plotting and scheming, just like they say in the Batman movie with the Joker. Scheming. I know a schemer, and they're schemers. Sitting there scheming against our common interest. And if they have to hide what the fuck they're doing, they're not up to any good. They're up to no good. You know, this isn't even them. Without us, all of us collectively, you know, let me tell you about my day. Let me tell you about all of our days. If you want to make money, if you want to make a lot of money, and I'm not talking about finance money or being parasitic money. I'm talking about money where you're providing a service someone else would willingly pay for. That isn't a billionaire parasite scumbag. Something that any one of us would willingly pay for. The more difficult and complicated problem you can solve with your brain or with your hands, the more money you're going to make. That's just the way that it is. Okay? Having said that, there is a limit to how much worth any one of us collectively are worth. You know, the guy curing cancer, how much is that worth? I'm pretty sure a lot of us would be willing to pay a lot of that to protect our loved ones. And I'm betting that guy didn't make $87 million like Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner did. Fucking bet. You want to bet on it? How much are our farms and our livelihood and the ability to fucking eat worth? Why is someone like Bill Gates talking about whether or not we should be allowed, and they want to regulate it, to force us? It's not freedom. Allowed to eat 3D printed food, meat stuffed with potato starch, and all kind of insects and all kinds of other shit. You know, I was making fun of the Rothschilds one time online, and then all of a sudden I started getting messages from on Facebook. Started getting messages from all of them. And they've got their little secret societies. You know, I'm not fearful of any of them. I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity to face cartel, because it teaches you fear in real time. It scares the fuck out of you, man, without a doubt. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if they're going to kill you, kill your wife, all of it, or worse, torture you and then kill you. You don't know. And so when you learn to live with that in a place like Mexico, you learn that, you know, the rest of these fucking people aren't sending you any place you're not already going anyways. So fuck them. This is our government. You see people being forced out of their town hall and their city hall meetings and being forced out by police that are arresting these people just for speaking up and exercising their constitutional First Amendment rights. You lose the rights that you don't lose, and you get people treat you the way that you let them treat you. I can thank my own brother for that one, my little brother. I heard him say that one time. My little brother's this great big gargantuan offensive line size type person. And we've gotten into a lot. And I'm grateful to have my brother push me that way, because, you know, it taught me also that people treat you the way that you let them treat you. And if you're not willing to fight and go fucking sock that guy right in his head, figuratively speaking, they're going to do whatever they want to do. So you need to stand up for yourself, vocally or whatever. You know, it's always curious to me that the people that want a monopoly on violence always get upset when you use that against them, or if you tell them no. And then if you treat them the same way that they've treated you, they get upset. And they get upset when you even talk about it, or even discuss it like it's beyond being discussed, because they want to sit here and force you to eat plant-grown meat, fungus that's turned into meat. This is all real stuff. I mean, meanwhile, while they talk to you with a filter on like Ivanka Trump and the whole background's blurred out because they spent a whole bunch of money on it, trying to present them with their vocal fry and talking to you like, I remember when we went to the Beverly Center over off of Santa Monica. Like they're better than you because they've been able to rip off all these people and accumulate massive fortunes. That's not the real world, man. The real world is $100 or 100 pesos worth of meat in Mexico with a couple cuamas or big beers for your people, sitting around enjoying each other's company and family and friends, and being of service to other people, not serving yourself like these fucking people. There's a whole bunch of shit like Alfonso Durazno, the governor of Sonora, Morena, accused in the United States, you know, that was in the Los Angeles Times. There's a whole bunch of stuff that can talk about the ecocide or whatever, destroying nature. I'm going to end this with this. You know, it doesn't matter whether it's Ivanka Trump or fucking Hunter Biden. They're all fucking scumbags. They are. Yeah, I might use coarse language or something like that, but I'm faithful to my fucking wife. I go to work all the time. In fact, I was at work this morning. I didn't make a big mistake, but there was a serious issue with the process, and I didn't catch it. And so it cost the company a few grand. That was my morning. And a lot of us have mornings like that. You got to get up, soldier on, and keep going. But it starts with doing the right thing. It starts with not being greedy. It starts with telling the truth. It starts with not being pretentious and worrying too much about what the fuck you guys are going to think about me, because we're just real humans, man. These billionaires wanting to have swarms of autonomous sentient drones surveilling us and killing us without a human in the command chain while they're waiting it out in their fucking bunker, trying to commit world war, me spending $100 on my fucking truck on what cost $50 a few months ago in fuel to fuel it up. And then Trump having the audacity to say that I don't mind while my fucking budget's stretched thin. My mother-in-law needs medical care that I have to fucking take care of. And she was good to me, so I do my best to take care of her too. And all of this only to have the IRS ripping $400 fucking dollars out of my check or my bank account every month because I had the balls to work a second full-time job, which they took full taxes out but decided that my income was in another fucking bracket and charged me even more at the end of the year. Real shit. And I know that each and every one of you guys that is watching this, if you're not some type of government scumbag, has the same problems. Whether you're white, whether you're black, whether you're Latino, Oriental, or whatever. You're just a fucking human being, just like I am. But all these fucking scumbags that guard them allow all this shit to happen. Allow what, Dave? Allow little children to be raped on an island. Fucking demonetize my channel, suspend my account, YouTube. I don't give a fuck. I'll go right over to some other fucking one, Rumble, and fucking start a brand new account. You're not going to control me just because you got some money or just because some of you are wearing some fucking yarmulkes or you're pro-Israel or any of that shit, or because you bought and paid for our politicians. I was talking about this in the video earlier today that I didn't post. When I was young, there was a guy by the name of Ant Dog. Great big old buff black motherfucker, man. Ant Dog didn't like me very much because I had kind of like a white supremacist thing. And it's ironic that I have these tattoos because these tattoos didn't have anything to do with Jewish people or Israel. It really didn't. It had to do with I didn't want to get beat up by other black gangs or Latino gangs when I was a kid. It had everything to do with that. And it's ironic that growing up, I don't even really have a problem with you. No, actually, I would like to see Ant Dog. He's from Pacoima, Piru, but he's dead now. I've looked him up. We got in a fight, and he beat the fuck out of me when I was young. And you'll see these people, and sooner or later, you're going to have to step to them, man. You know, I don't know what that looks like, fighting politically by using your voice or whatever, but you're going to have to grow a spine. And a lot of these people aren't going to let it go of their privileges and shit like that. So I don't know how ironing all that stuff out politically looks like. But I do know that with people like Bezos and Gates telling you that you can't fucking ingest meat, even though every other fucking wild animal on the planet can, but not you because some fucking schmuck that can't even keep his wife around said so. And I'll admit, you know, I've had my share of shit with my fucking ex-wives and stuff like that. First one, I wasn't a very good husband. The second one, I was a pretty decent husband. This one, I'm a great husband. I keep my wife around. This fucking guy's got all the fucking money in the world and all the advantages. Can't keep his wife around. Makes you go, why? Fucking billions of fucking dollars. All the therapy in the world. Melinda Gates fucking bounced. But he wants to tell everybody else how to live. That's the thing, too. You know, I'm not telling you how to fucking live. I would never do that. I would never. Can you think of the arrogance? Imagine the arrogance it would take to have the audacity to tell somebody else how they should fucking live, what they should believe, what they should think, what they can or can't say. But this fucking guy's going to tell you. I don't tell you. I just tell you, hey, Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner or whatever are sitting there making $87 million a year off of your fucking tax dollars buying Epstein Island #2, and all the people that I don't really, you know, get along with all that well via Valhalla VFT, they're all screaming the same shit. So we're not in the minority, man. I saw some black lady. Here we go. More sirens. You know, they got sirens for everything, but they don't have sirens for fucking kids on these islands or for your tax dollars being wasted right and left, being given away to every other fucking country except you. And then they're going to fucking call you a fucking domestic terrorist if you have the balls to say something about it right there in their memos. You know, it's hard to even take measure of everything that goes on in this world. I will end with this. I know that our God wants us to do what we consider to be the right and correct thing. And usually day to day, that's me getting up, going to work, taking care of my health so I can take care of my wife, taking care of my family because I'm the physical and spiritual leader and financial leader of our family. And I do better than I did when I was younger, but not as good as some of you. And I have to compete in this world against the rest of you. And so, you know, I got to constantly work on expanding my skill set. This type of shit. This is like what's going through my mind. And I know that you guys got all those concerns too, and the well-being of your children, etc. Blah, blah, blah. You know, these guys lording over us in their fucking Davos fucking things with their World Economic Forum, sitting there spending your tax dollars to tell every other fucking country in the world how they're going to fucking live and only giving them money as long as they enact certain legislation in the rest of these countries, telling you that you're going to eat fungus and laboratory grown meat and they're going to call that freedom. It's not fucking freedom. You didn't consent to it. Nor should you ever consent to your own dignity and your own self-determination. And any government that's going to sit there and pretend like they have the right to tell you what to fucking do, when it's the government that's being told what to do by us. And you know, maybe the government's too fucking big these days because I think government on a local level is probably a pretty good thing. Hey, don't fuck kids. Yeah, makes sense. Everyone agree? Aye. Hey, we're not going to send all of our villages money over to fucking South Sudan because we're going to take care of our family and our kids first. Because you can't take care of everybody else unless your own house is in order. Everybody agree? Aye. Hey, we're going to let Jewish and Muslim and Christian people all worship as they see fit because I want the same thing for myself. Everybody agree? Aye. Yeah. Hey, don't hurt anybody. Everybody agree? Aye. This fucking government's over blowing up fucking hundreds of fucking children and then mixing the military that just got done unaliving tens of thousands of fucking babies in Gaza. And, no, man. Fucking no. I disagree. I don't give a fuck what country that country's named. This one happens to be named Israel. I would disagree across the board, and that can be your bar. your baseline for criticism. Would I criticize any group of individuals, no matter what religion they were, if they were killing a bunch of fucking kids? Yes, I would. Does that include my own group? Yes. Christians can't kill kids. Do I agree with killing little girls at elementary school of any color, any religion? Fuck no. So when these guys start doing that shit and this becomes the nation of BB, and a lot of Christians are fucking hung up because of the dual definition, Old Testament definition, New Testament definition of Israel and who Israel is, you need to bust out your Bible and do some more fucking reading, okay? Mr. Hey, we have to support Israel and all things. The fuck we do. I don't care you like my video, you don't like my video. Sean Strickland, I would love to go a few rounds with you, man. Sean Ryan, I would love to do Rubber Bullet CQB because I don't think that you guys are all bad, man. I don't. I'm not even talking shit when I say that. I think it would be fun. My idea of fun's a little rambunctious, but I mean fun. These guys want to sit here and destroy this fucking island so they can have their tourists thing. Like fucking all of a sudden, tourism in fucking Albania. It's ironic that I've had the flag up here this whole fucking time. And just a year and a half later, or how long have I had that thing up there? Probably a year. It's been up there. And now we're talking about Albania, Ivanka Trump, and just all the bullshit. I was talking about Kushner earlier this year. We could do a whole show on him all by himself. So, that's enough for me out of the day. The one thing that I know is that I'm in my God's world and that he's going to test me the way that he's going to test me, and that when I return home, I need to make sure that I've done as much as I can with the shekels he gave me, trying to be righteous at all times, which I am also seriously lacking in that area. I need to constantly continue to improve myself. But also at the same time being able to look my God in the face and be like, you know what, my Father, I did the best that I could. And I hope that it's acceptable. And if it's not, that's okay. I would never, ever, ever unalive little kids. It talks about the millstone in the Bible. And you're sending these kids to their fucking deaths and you're violating them on islands. No, I'm not okay with being governed by that. Whether it's Hunter Biden or Ivanka Trump. Trump talking about how hot his own fucking daughter is and sex with her repeatedly. These are not my fucking leaders, man. My leaders are in the hood trying to make sure other little kids are not going to fucking prison and all this other shit, or not getting ready to go shoot up a fucking house full of other little young kids that have their whole lives ahead of them, instead of going over to a land where the people are on it appropriately because they've been born there for generations, killing their babies and their kids, and then talking about, well, it's fucking Hamas. And you should see the disgusting shit that they have to say. If our God's going to put us in a fight in this world, which I hope he does not, it's okay. I just want us all to consider what those fucking terms are and what you believe in. I'm not telling you to say, what to think, or what to do. I'm asking you to challenge your own beliefs and measure them carefully to the extent that you would be okay with facing your Creator saying, you know what, that's okay because this is what I truly believe. These guys on their fucking motorcycles, man, right? I'm okay with going to my God saying I disagree with fucking killing people for doing something that I've done, which in Israel's case would be having nuclear weapons, the United States having nuclear weapons. Of course, Iran would want nuclear weapons. You just fucking murked 200 of their fucking little girls. Nobody in their right mind would ever go to the peace table with someone that just got done doing that to their fucking kids. Use your fucking brain, man. So if people have hate in their heart and shit like that, okay, let them go sort that out with their God. Why aren't we warring against Israel? They're the ones killing fucking kids. Epstein's Island, all backed by fucking Israel. So I don't care what my God's going to do to me. I don't care what YouTube does to my channel. I don't give a fuck about your fucking ballroom over at the White House. And I don't give a shit whether you want Sean Strickland at your UFC. That's something else. Dana White and all these other motherfuckers at the inauguration and everything else, like the White House is some type of fucking Salt Palace, LA Forum fucking entertainment fucking place. Treating it just completely disgraceful and distasteful, man. Kind of what's on my mind. You like it, cool. You don't like it, I don't give a fuck. You know, I'm not asking you for shit. Oye, bebita. Hey, am I a good husband? The best. You know, that's my orders. Taking care of my fucking family. I know your orders are the same thing, too. Taking care of Israel, helping them murk fucking little kids isn't something I ever signed up for. And all the senators and politicians, the rest of you government motherfuckers watching my channel, I'm not saying anything that's illegal, and I'm not saying anything I would ever apologize for. Fuck you. That's what I've got to say. You know, politicians and people that seek public office in general are scumbags. It's commonly known. You guys are generally either sociopaths or psychopaths and shouldn't be anywhere near power. Enough out of me.